Serious Survivor here, and just a quick update on what's going on in Haiti. The July 7th assassination of Haiti's president was the first such killing of a Haitian head of state since 1915. That event actually precipitated the U.S. invasion of Haiti, an occupation that lasted nearly 20 years. Haiti is the only country in the Western Hemisphere that has not vaccinated a single person. Until his violent murder, the president of Haiti had spent 18 months ruling by decree, having dismissed all but 10 members of the 30-seat Senate in the two-chamber legislature. Meanwhile, his opponents decried his alleged illegitimacy and his refusal to step down on 7th of February, 5 years after the departure of his predecessor. Moise claimed that his 5-year term began in February 2017 after a flawed election was rerun, and that he was entitled to stay into office until 2022. Protests against Moise's rule first broke out in 2017, paralyzing the economy. Gang violence has spiked in the past few months, displacing hundreds of families in poor neighborhoods in the capital and deepening Haitians' sense of insecurity. Elections planned for September were thought unlikely to settle anything because a council set up by Moise's government to organize the poll was widely seen as partisan. Now Moise's assassination throws everything in doubt. Haiti's interim government said it asked the U.S. to deploy troops to protect key infrastructure as it tries to stabilize the country and prepare for elections in the aftermath of the assassination. Amid the confusion, hundreds of Haitians gathered outside the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince, pleading for a way out of the country. We definitely need assistance, and we've asked our international partners for help, Interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph told the Associated Press in a phone interview late Friday. We believe our partners can assist the national police in resolving the situation. The request for U.S. military support recalled the tumult following Haiti's last presidential assassination in 1915, when an angry mob dragged the president out of the French embassy and beat him to death. In response, President Woodrow Wilson sent the Marines into Haiti, justifying the American military occupation, which lasted nearly 2 decades, as a way to avert anarchy. But Mr. Biden's administration has so far given no indication it will provide military assistance. For now, it only plans to send FBI and DHS officials to help investigate a crime that has plunged Haiti, a country already wrecked by poverty and gang violence, into a destabilizing battle for power and constitutional standoff. On Friday, a group of lawmakers announced that they had recognized Joseph Lambert, the head of Haiti's dismantled Senate, as provisional president in a direct challenge to the interim government's authority. They also recognized Prime Minister Ariel Henry, whom Moise had selected to replace Joseph a day before he was killed, but who had not yet taken office or formed a government. One of those lawmakers, Rosemond Pradelle, former Secretary General of Haiti's Provisional Electoral Commission, told the AP that Joseph is neither qualified nor has the legal right to lead the country. Joseph expressed dismay that others would try to take advantage of Moise's murder for political gain. "I'm not interested in a power struggle," Joseph said, who assumed leadership with the backing of the police and the military. "There's only one way people can become president in Haiti, and that's through elections." Meanwhile, more details emerged of a killing that increasingly has taken the air of a murky international conspiracy involving a shootout with gunmen holed up in a foreign embassy and a private security firm operating out of a warehouse in Miami. Among those arrested are 2 Haitian Americans, including one who worked alongside Sean Penn following the nation's devastating 2010 earthquake. Police have also detained or killed what they describe as more than a dozen mercenaries who were former members of Colombia's military. Some of the suspects were seized in a raid on Taiwan's embassy, where they are believed to have sought refuge. National Police Chief Leon Charles said another 8 suspects were still at large and being sought. The attack, which took place at Moise's home before dawn on Wednesday, also seriously wounded his wife, who was flown to Miami for surgery. Joseph said that he has spoken to the First Lady, but out of respect for her mourning has not inquired about the attack. Colombian officials said the men were recruited by 4 companies and traveled to the Caribbean nation in 2 groups via the Dominican Republic. U.S.-trained Colombian soldiers are heavily sought after by private security firms and mercenary armies in global conflict zones because of their experience in a decades-long war against leftist rebels and powerful drug cartels. It's not known who masterminded the attack, and numerous questions remain about how the perpetrators were able to penetrate the president's residence posing as U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents, meeting no resistance from those who were charged with the protection of the president. One of the suspects, who had retired from the Colombian Army in 2019 with the rank of sergeant, was hired by a private security firm with the understanding he would be providing protection for powerful individuals in Haiti. His sister, Capador, said she knew nothing about the employer but shared a picture of her brother in a uniform emblazoned with the logo of CTU Security, a company based in Doral, which is a Miami suburb. The wife of Francisco Uribe, who was among those arrested, told Colombia's W Radio that CTU offered to pay the men about $2,700 a month. CTU Security was registered in 2008 and lists its president as Antonio Intriago, who is also affiliated with several other Florida-registered entities, some of them since dissolved, including the Counterterrorism Unit Federal Academy and the Venezuelan American National Council and the Doral Food Corporation. CTU's website lists two addresses, one of which is a gray-colored warehouse that was shuttered Friday with no indication of who it belonged to. The other is a small suite under a different company's name in a modern office building a few blocks away. A receptionist at the office said that Intriago stops by every few days to collect mail and hold meetings. Intriago, who is Venezuelan, did not return phone calls and email seeking comments. Investigative Judge Clement Noel told reporters that the arrested Americans, James Salages and Joseph Benton, said the attackers originally planned only to arrest Moise, not killing. Noel said that Salages and Vincent were acting as translators for the attackers. Joseph refused to specify who was behind the attack, but said that Moise had earned numerous enemies while attacking powerful oligarchs who for years profited from overly generous state contracts. Some of the elite insiders are now the focus of the investigations, with authorities asking that presidential candidate and well-known businessman Reginald Buolos and former state president Yuri Latortu meet with prosecutors next week for questioning. Analysts say that whoever plotted the brazen attack likely had ties to a criminal underworld that has flourished in recent years as corruption and drug trafficking have become more entrenched in Haiti. The growing power of gangs displaced more than 14,700 people in Haiti last month alone as they torched and ransacked homes in a fight over territory. So this story is still developing, and that's all the facts that I was able to dig up on it right now. And it seems like there's a broader conspiracy in action here, and there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. The companies that can't be contacted, out-of-country ties to the Colombian Army, and also to organizations in Miami in the United States. This does raise concerns, and also raises concerns as to why the U.S. is pushing this story to the back of the headlines. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope this video was informative. God bless. And for now, Serious Survivor, out.